Hey, what's going on today, YouTube? So, I normally have a process that I go through when I am taking apart a repository because I want to use it myself. And so I normally fork it and just try to pick things apart so that I can make it into my own type of Python script that I can utilize. So I'm just going to go over my process for that, and that's going to be today's video. So I'm going to try to keep it as high level as possible just to give you an overview on what I'm doing. So there's the W Okada voice changer repository. If you guys don't know, if you've been following my channel, I am currently working on a web interface for the Beatrice version 2 trainer. So this is a version of the voice changer that can change a voice real time with CPU.
For example, this voice is Melina from Elden Ring, and I'm able to train on this voice and change it. So, I've got other voices in here, so I'm changing the way that I'm speaking. Like maybe like Gideon from Elden Ring,
and I can try to change the pitch because I'm speaking in a male voice, so I don't need to change the octave. But the cool thing about this is that you are able to change the way that you're speaking in real time without actually having to rely on GPU power. And that's a big change from the previous version where even a 4090 would struggle to run this in real time. This is all running on the CPU, so it's much more accessible. And yeah, just a little demonstration of the real-time voice changer with Beatrice.
I think that is particularly powerful, and the quality isn't too bad. And so the training repository is here, but it's not user-friendly. I would say you need to have quite a decent amount of experience, or just yeah, I'd say experience messing around with repositories in order to get this trainer work. So I'm currently in the process of taking it apart, making it into something that is a little bit more manageable for you know, everyday people. So I've kind of already gone through this and did some debugging in order to actually get the trainer working, and have trained a couple of models myself. But that's not the purpose of today's video. Today's video is just going through kind of how I would go through the process. So I have it here. This is the Beatrice trainer. I cloned it onto my computer and I'm currently going through it. And so my goal is to figure out how this works. So I've already figured out how to run it, and that is via a command line script. So since I know what type of command line call I need to do, it's basically just calling a Python function in the Beatrice trainer. I now need to dissect how that Python script takes that call and allows me to pass all of the parameters that I need to train. And so that would be this right-hand script here. So I've already gone through it and kind of know where the entry points are. For these types of files, I normally look up if _name equals main, because this is the entry point for any script that you're running when you call it by itself. I usually look for this as the starting point, and then I'll see how many times it occurs, twice in this case, because the first one kind of sets up configurations. And so what I'm now doing is splitting this long Python file, which has 3,000 lines of code into many smaller Python modules so that I can call and instantiate them. So I've got a train module that I'm going to be working on, and then I've got a utils module that's going to contain a lot of the utility functions that will be needed for this train function to work. But my goal is to be able to just convert this into a module that I call run training, and it's going to run training without me having to run it via the command line interface. And whenever this is done, I'll be back to show you what the final output is. So however long that takes me, I'll see you guys then. All right, so finished it up. Took me about an hour to do. Luckily for me, the repository, the authors actually well, they actually kind of categorized some of their, or all of their sections, which made my life a whole lot easier. So let's see, they labeled some of these sections like pitch estimator, so on and so forth. So I was able to use that in helping me name the Python modules. But yeah, everything is in here, and I'd say ready to get testing. I got no yellow bars on the right hand side here, so I can go ahead and close out of these. and get this going. So data directory, I need to specify the data directory. In this case, it's going to be models and model1 for a test. And then for output, let's create a new folder. It's called test1. So output directory, trained models, and we'll do test1. So if everything went correct and everything is smooth, if I run this training, we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and run this Python debugger, and let's see what we get. All right, so error on the first run, that is all right. That's part of it. String object has no attribute is a directory, so it's not a directory. So I think what I need to do is change some things up real quick, and let me find out what happened. I think what it's expecting is an object. It's not expecting a string, so I need to actually convert this into a path object. So let's try this out with both. I need to get more used to using path. I actually just use OS for everything, but yeah, let's go and run this and see if that resolves the issue. Yep, looks like we have it going here. So yeah, the script is running, and we've got it going. So we'll see if we run into any issues here, but as of right now, I think we've successfully separated out this repository and turned it into some more manageable Python modules that I can look at and call. Well, let's be honest, the only thing that I'm actually going to be calling is this run training function right here, which is the entry point into here. So here we go. Training is going, so I can now confirm that this is ready to go, and the next thing is going to be implementing this into the web UI interface. And what I can now do is just open this inside of code and just do everything from the terminal here. So we'll go and git submodule add, we'll throw this link into there, modules, and then Beatrice, and then we'll call this Beatrice trainer. Clone that repository into there. Check out my git status. So added some new things into here. Git add, git status, already added. So now we can go ahead, git push or git commit, and you guys can't see what I'm typing right now, but I'm saying add submodules, git push, and that should now allow me to access things. So now all I would need to do is just work on this web UI here to get it up and running. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll be back once we have something running. All right, and so here is the last stage, and that is just the proof of concept before I start going through prettying things up and making everything a little bit more convenient. So this is the train tab, and if I click training, well, I'll run into an error. Let me fix that real quick. Just rename this folder real quick. Now I can go ahead and start training, and we'll see that it's running, and inside of the code it is also now running. So with this, the proof of concept has been complete, where I can run the training code from my web UI. Now what I need to do is change how I instantiate some of these parameters and make sure I can set these inside of the web UI. Currently, why I got that error is because I have these hard-coded just to test to make sure that the library does in fact run, and it does. So the proof of concept is done. The trainer does work in fact in my web UI. Now I enter the last phase, which is going to be an iterative process to make sure things work as smoothly as possible, and that can take a long time. So I'm not going to show that in today's video, as I probably will not be able to finish the entire web UI by the time I want to make this video. So that's going to be it for today's video. The goal of this was just to give a little bit of insight on how I develop and how I work through things, and maybe some of you guys would find that interesting. So yeah, I will be coming out with this Beatrice Trainer web UI sometime in the near future, maybe like next week or 2 weeks, so that you also can go ahead and train some voices up in the Beatrice real-time voice changer. And when that comes, I'll make a video for that. So once again, I'd like to thank all the members of my channel for supporting me, and there are now tangible benefits for being a member of the channel. You get access to the packages I release on this channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.